Hello and welcome to Upstack America's Oracle EBS Financials Functional Training. My name is Bob and I'm the lead senior consultant for Upstack America, and with me today I have Victor, who is also a senior consultant. And today we are handling General Ledger Lesson 48, and Victor, please walk us through.
Thank you, Bob, for the introduction, and welcome to Lesson 48 of our Financials Functional Training series. We are going to continue with how to use a row order when creating FSG reports in this lesson. We already started in our previous lesson, and we know that a row order is one of the optional features that we can add to our FSG reports in order to customize them in various ways. The row order, as we know, it controls the sorting of data. It controls how we can display the segments, in what sequence we display the segments on the report, and it also determines whether descriptions are displayed. So we have already looked at how to hide and display segments by using the row order in our previous lesson. So in this lesson, I would like us to look at how to sort data on FSG reports by using the row order. Okay, and what do I mean by sorting? So let's take a quick look at one of the reports that we produced in our previous lesson. Sorry. I think I had another screen open. Let me just close everything and see. Okay, log out. All right. So let's go to my Mascani group GL user, and let me click on one of these screens. Anyway, we want to go to our SRS screen, so let's just head on there. So this is one of the reports that we produced, and let's look at this report and see what it looks like. So we produced a report showing entered currency amounts in one column and the total currency amounts in the other column. So we used a row order to hide the other segments because we know that our chart of accounts has 7 segments. 8 segments are displayed on an FSG report because there's also the ledger segment, which is not really part of our chart of accounts, but it appears on the reports. So we can use a row order to sort how data appears on a report such as this. What do I mean? For example, in a report such as this, we can say that we want these accounts to appear in ascending order of the account value. So 1,000, 2,000, the way they are arranged like this, so we can flip it and we can start with descending order. So it will start with the account 5,000. Okay, we can use a row order to do that. We can use a row order to sort these rows by the values that are appearing in these columns. Okay, so if we want it to be sorted in the ascending order, we can have the smallest value at the top and the largest value at the bottom without any regards of what these accounts look like. We can also sort by other segments which are not showing here. So we can sort by company if we are doing reports for more than one company. So we can have figures for company 1 appearing first, and then we'll have figures for the next company appearing next. Okay. So those are some of the needs that a client may want when they are producing their reports, and we can use the row order to customize the reports in that sense. So that's exactly what we are going to do, and we are going to modify this report. We're going to stick with this report since we really don't need anything in terms of what we are seeing on the report. Rather, we just need to see how we can use the row order to change the appearance of the report. So we are going to modify this report. So let's go back to Oracle. And let's go to reports, define, then order, and let's look up the row order we created. So this is our row order that we used to format our report, and in this case we wanted just the account segment to be shown. That's why all the other segments have a width of 0. Okay. So now supposing we also want the company to be shown, so we have to increase the width of the company segment so that it can be displayed. So we can give this a width of, let's say, 6 characters. Okay. So let's go on to the function of sorting. Okay. Now I have already told you how a client would maybe have a particular requirement of how the report should be arranged, right, in terms of segment values and so on. So when you look at these segments here, we have this column that says order by, and we had mentioned a bit what this column does. Okay. So for instance, let's look at, for the first segment, which is ledger, and let's look at the values that are under this order by list or column. So we have ledger name and we have ledger short name, and then we have ranking. Okay. So I already explained what ledger name is. It's the actual name of the ledger for which we are producing the report, and as I said, when we are creating a ledger, we are asked to produce a ledger short name. Okay. So we have ledger name, we have ledger short name, and we have ranking. Okay. So this was ledger short name. Let's look at the options we have for the company segment. We have description, we have ranking, and we have value. And let's look at account. We have description, we have ranking, and we have value. Okay. I already explained what value and description are. Value is the segment value. Like for the account, then the account value for the cash account is 01000. The description is just cash. For payables, the account value is 02000. The description is payables. So that's what that means. So what I'm trying to demonstrate here is that we have those two, value and description, and then we have this option that we are seeing all the time for ranking. Okay. So when you produce a report like we have done, and you enter these options here, so in our case we had value, we can have also description. What does that mean? So this dictates how this lines appear in our report. Okay, so for instance, let's go back to the row order. For company all the way to the last segment, we had those things ordered by value. So what does that mean? Let's go back to the report. If you look at the accounts, you can see that they are arranged in ascending order of the values. Okay, so we are not displaying the other segments because of what we had specified when we are producing this report. But if we were displayed the other segments, okay, and our order by selections remain like this, then what does that mean for the report? It means that let me go back here. Let's start with the ledger short name. So if we are producing this report for across ledgers, which we can do using FSG, then the information for the first ledger would be displayed, and how it would be selected, using the alphabetical order of the name. Okay, so supposing we have one ledger called Maskani and the other one called Nyumbani, right? So Maskani comes before Nyumbani, M comes before N in the alphabet, right? So values for Maskani would be displayed before values for Nyumbani, okay? And then after that, the values within the single ledger, Maskani, right? When it comes to the company, the information would be arranged by ascending order of the companies first. So that means that if there is two companies, then information for 001 will be shown first, and then information for 002, and then it goes down like that. For company 1, when it comes now to the lines, then the accounts would be arranged the way they are arranged here, right? In ascending order in terms of the account value. If we had selected for account, if we had selected description, then in this case, for example, you would have cash as the first one, then expense, then home, then I think should be land, payables, and sales in ascending order of the alphabet. Okay. So that's what this order by column means. Okay, in terms of how the data on the reports is sorted. So what happens when we pick this value, instead of picking description or ranking, we pick description or value, we pick this ranking option. Okay. So now when we pick ranking, it brings us back to this second section. I'd explained that when you look at this row order screen, you can think of it as having section number 1, section number 2, and section number 3. So when we select ranking here, it brings us back to this second section. Okay. If we select ranking here, then we have to enter ranking information in this second section. What does this, if you look at it, it says rank by column. Okay. Now what this column means is these columns containing financial information that are produced by your column set. Okay. So remember I said when we are creating the columns in our column set builder, we can give the column a name. Okay. So if we had given our column a name, then we can use that name here. But since we did not give the column a name, we use this order field. What does this order field mean? It means the way these columns are arranged in the report. So in terms of that order, this is we can say this is number 1. And then this second column is number 2. If we had another column here, it would have been number 3. Okay? So that's what that means. Now, if we select ranking here, and then we come and enter 1, right? What does that mean? Now, it means that the information that we want to display in our report will be sorted this way. So first, it will be sorted the way I've told you for the ledgers, the ledger that appears first in the alphabet, or if the letter that appears first in the alphabet, the information for that ledger will be shown first. And then in that particular ledger, company information will be displayed in ascending order in terms of the value, right? So company 001, company 002, okay? But then when it gets to account, all right, what will happen? What will happen is that information now will be displayed using this ranking. And what that ranking means, the ranking in column 1. If you choose ascending, then it means this information will be displayed depending on the values that exist in this column here and in ascending order. I don't know whether that makes sense. So let me go back to the row order. If we select ranking here, all right, then it means once the data has been sorted by these parameters for the first 2 segments, then when it comes to the account, the system will look at the figures that are in this column 1, and arrange them in ascending or descending order depending on what you have selected here. Okay, so if we select ascending by rank 1, then it means, I remember I told you that the figures with this brackets are negative figures or credit amounts, which credit amounts are considered negative. So the smallest figure, which will be this negative 5,000, will appear first. All right, and of course it moves together with the account, right? So this home sales would appear first, okay, and then the next smallest, which is 1,000, and then 102, and then 49, then the 68, and then 6,000. So if we choose ranking by order 1, that's what happens. If we choose ranking, and then in the order we select 2, then we use this second column. Okay, so that is what this ranking value means. All right. Now, unless we are displaying these other segments, then it doesn't really matter. But if we do ranking, if we start ranking here, it's like we are saying that the rest of this will also use ranking. Okay. So now what I want to demonstrate is, so let's change all these others to ranking. ranking. Okay, so what we are going to do is we have, let's use order 1, okay? So we are going to produce our report like this. We are going to show company, and we are going to show account. These first two, we are going to do just for one ledger, so this won't really matter. We have more than one company in our ledger, so we might have values for either company, okay? So we are going to produce this report with our row order the way it is now, and we see how it's going to look, okay? So we have entered, we rank by column 1 in ascending order, so smallest value is first, and it will start that ranking at the account segment level. The company and the ledger, they will be sorted in terms of segment values. So let's save this. Let's go to report, and let's query that report. And that report was this one. Entered currency, the row order is there. And let's run the report. Let's do October. I don't know whether we have data for company 2. I believe we might have some. So October, submit. That's our request. Let's go to the SRS screen. And let's wait for this request to complete. All right, it has been completed. Let's view the output. So now you can see that the order has changed. This is our original report. This is the one we have produced right now. And as you can see, the rankings have been changed. The sorting has been changed, and it has been arranged by ascending order depending on this column. You can see this column, the smallest figure is at the top and the largest figure is at the bottom, and that's what it looks like in the whole column. Okay. Now we had wanted to display our company segment values, but they are not here. All right. And there's a reason why that is so. So let's go back and see why we cannot see our. So if we go to our row set, I believe it's Mascani all accounts. Let's go to the account assignment. Let's click here. So we have said to show the results for all the companies here, but to total them. So the report does not separate the accounts in terms of company. So if you want to see, company level data separated per company, you have to do what? You have to expand this. All right. So if we do this, then we run our report, we'll be able to see the company level information on our report. Okay. So let's see whether that's true. So we have modified our row set. So let's define a report. Entered currency, it's the same report. It control values instead of run the report. So let's run the report again. For October, yes, submit. Let's see what our report looks like this time. And there you go. So the information is still sorted from the smallest to the largest, but now you can see the accounts in terms of with the company. Okay, so you can see, for example, you have cash for company 1, you also have cash for company 3, you also have cash. Do we have cash for company 4? No. And this will also help us to look at something else. Or also just to specify, now the accounts, the ascending order is per company, okay? So for every company, all right, so if you look at the company segment, they are arranged in ascending order according to the value itself, so 001 through to 090, okay? Then now within the company, the information is ranked by ascending order using column 1. So you can see for the information for company 01, which is up to here, it is arranged in ascending order, smallest to largest. Same for company 03. It starts with the smallest, the last one to 03 is the largest, okay? So that's just what I wanted to clarify. Something else that's maybe a bit unrelated or related in a way is what we have been doing with our reports before without expanding the company, so that we can see company level detail. That is consolidated reporting. Because what are consolidated reports? It's when you do reports for the whole enterprise, correct? And now that is something that I wanted to explain. We've been doing reports for the period of October, and in that period, and this is for the period of October also, right? And you can see we have activity in October for company 03 and company 04, which are from our consolidated data. So this activity is from the consolidation. Okay. But when we were doing our consolidated report before without splitting this, we never used to see this intercompany accounts. All right. But now when we are seeing company level data, we can see it. right? And you remember in our topic of elimination, when we were talking about elimination entries, we do them so that we don't have to see intercompany transactions in our consolidated report. And from our experience, that worked, because when we are doing the consolidated report without, either specifying for one company or totaling, when we are totaling them, we couldn't see these intercompany transactions, and yet they existed because we were running it for the same period. All right. So I just wanted to point out that that our elimination entries, they worked, and we have got to see it on an actual report. Okay, so that was a bit of a side note. Anyway, so we are talking about how we can sort data on financial reports using the row order, and we have seen an example. I'm gonna close this and go back to a row order, make sure there's nothing we have forgotten. So remember, if you want to see the effect of the sorting with for any of these segments, if you choose to display them, one, you have to change the width so that the segment can be seen on your report. Okay, and if you want to use it to do sorting, you have to remember to expand it in your row set so that the data is split by that segment. So you can want to arrange your information in terms of division, but if you have not expanded the division in your row set, then you won't see anything on your report, because your row set tells the system to total up anything by the division. So that's just something that I wanted to mention. So what have we learned? That this second section, we use it to sort data by the columns. And when we talk about columns, we talk about starting here, this information that's produced by these columns that are produced by your column set. This part here is produced by your row set. Okay, and the values themselves are produced at the intersection. Okay, all right. So we want to move on quickly to another function of the row order or purpose, and which is changing the segment sequence on the reports, which is pretty straightforward. So supposing instead of, now the way these segments are arranged like this are how they appear on our chart of accounts, and also how they will appear on the report. Okay, if we choose to display all of them. So company, let's go to the report. So we have a report with all the segments. We'll start with company, then account, then division, then department, like that. But perhaps a client has the need to see this as account, then division, then company, then department, like that. All right. So you can use the row order to change that sequence, and it's as simple as rearranging these segments here. Of course, you have to assign the correct sequence. Okay. So for example, say for this report, we wanted account to come first and then company to come second. So they basically switch positions. What would we do? We would come to a row order. So here we have ledger, company, and account. So we want account to be position 2 and company to be position 3. Okay. All right. So the way to do it is first you delete either of them, the records. I mean, and that's because like if you try to change them when everything is still there. So like if I try to enter 2, say a segment with this sequence number already exists. Okay, so I can't do that. If I try to change this to 3, it will give me the same error. If I try to change this to account, you already chosen this segment for this row order. So anyway, just you can delete. Did I say delete? I'm not sure. Yes. So let's see now what happens. We want this to be account. Okay, let's delete this one. We have to change this back. Let's try and delete this. Oh wow. Okay. So now we can change this to account. Wow. Okay. So this is what we are supposed to do, right? We want to change the account segment to appear before the company segment. Okay. And I've already demonstrated the errors that you get if you just try to, change them without a particular order. So this is what you're supposed to do. So for example, we want account to come to number 2, okay? We can start by deleting this column, the company. So delete, yes. After you have deleted, make sure you save the changes, okay? Now once you've saved the changes, come and change this to 2 because we want account to move to position 2. Once that is changed, save. Once you have saved, now come and add a new row. Call it number 3 and call it company. Now enter what you want to be shown there. You want the value and you want the value there too. And we want this to have a width of 6. All right. Depending on what you want for your ordering, that's fine. You can keep hours by value and description, that's fine. Everything else with a value of rank order by ranking here will follow order 1 in ascending. We are not exploding any of this information, so what we are going to see is going to be arranged by account number and then company, okay, company value. So this is our new row order. Let's save. Let's go to report. The report we want is Maskani. Entered currency, it has our row order, run report. So October, submit. That's our request ID. Very quickly completed. Let's view output. So this is a bit jumbled up now, as you can see, but we have achieved what we wanted. On one end, we have changed the sequence of the segment, so the account appears first, and then the company, and then the accounts are ranked by what? By ascending order in terms of the account. So, for example, you have cash is the smallest, and in terms of value, 1,000 is the smallest value. So you have two cash lines, one for company 1 and one for company 3. We have receivables. We have this is intercompany between. We have one for company 3 and another one for the elimination company. So anyway, we have achieved what we wanted. We changed the sequence. The order sorting doesn't really matter much. We already covered that in our when we were demonstrating how to sort data. So we have basically looked at the main functions of the row order, or how we can use the row order to format our reports. And unless, Robert, you have something to add, we can end our lesson there.
Thank you, Victor.
Thank you.